Hey friends, today we're going to talk about classification of plants. But first, did you know botanists can classify plants in different ways, like according to their different sizes, according to different colors and different fruits that they may produce. But right now we're going to see the classification of plant according to their vascular tissue. So what is vascular tissue? It is xylem and phloem. It means the structure which carries nutrients and water, minerals and carbohydrate or sugar to different parts of the plant. I mean circulates that things. So according to presence and absence of that xylem and phloem, botanists or scientists who are studied about plants classified plants in different categories. So we can say that we can divide plants in two parts, like vascular and non-vascular. Vascular one got xylem and phloem. With the help of that xylem and phloem, vascular plants can transfer water dissolved minerals and water and sugar to different portions, different parts of the plant. But about non-vascular plants, they do not have real leaves and root and stem. I mean, they are so much primitive. They are using their primitive features, primitive structures for transporting materials inside itself. So further, they divided vascular plants in two ways, like non-seed plants and seed plants. Non-seed plants cannot grow seeds. It means they do not have seeds for their reproduction. They are making spores like ferns. This is a picture of fern, for example. They are producing spores. By the help of that spores, they can reproduce. And in other hand, we have seed plants, that plants which got seed just by putting their seed in soil. We can get a new plant. They are seed producing plants. Further, they divided seed plants in two ways, which are angiosperm and gymnosperm. Plants which can grow flowers and plants which cannot grow flowers. Instead, they are growing cone-like structures. So it's obvious, we talked about this, that flower-bearing structures got pistil and stamen structures. It means flowers were the reproductive structure for a plant, which contain male and female reproductive structures by which they can make new structures, by which they can grow fruits. And so seed plants have two parts or two kinds, like angiosperm, flowering plants which got flowers. With the help of that pistil and stamen structures, they can make new plants and flowers. And also gymnosperm. Gymnosperms are plants which cannot grow flowers. They got cone-like structures. These cone-like structures may include their male and female gametes, that by when their gametes can travel from one place to another place, and they can give rise to new plants. Further, they divided angiosperm or flowering plants in two ways, to monocote and dicote. So now we're going to discuss about each kind of it. We're going to start from non-vascular plants, continuing with the vascular plants, and so on. Be with me till the end of the lesson and learn that stuff. So let's start with non-vascular plants. It's obvious that they do not possess vascular tissue. They do not have vascular tissue which is xylem and phloem. The examples are mosses, liverwort, which is the structure of that plant is like liver, and hornwort. These are the main examples of that, and some algae can go to that category. And the thing we have to know that they are so much primitive. They are tiny. Their size are so much small and tiny, and they got primitive structures. They do not possess real shoot, or real stem, real leaf, and even they do not have real root. They got so much primitive structures by which they can live. and also their reproduction is via spore. It means mostly these kind of plants are inside water, inside rivers and oceans, and on that place they are reproducing with the help of spore. For example, they got male and female structures. Male structures are producing spores. Water flows carry that spores to female one. In top part of the female stalk, there are structures like this. In that place, eggs and which is the female reproductive gametes, and spores, which is male reproductive gamete. It means sperm and eggs are joining or with each other, they're fertilizing, and they can make a stalk like structure on top of that female plant. Then that stalk can burst and release some spores, and these spores can give rise to a new non-vascular plant. This is the way that they are reproducing. So the second category was vascular plants. The vascular plants are plants which are owner of xylem and phloem. They got xylem and phloem, and they got specialized tissues. They got special structures. Flowers, grass, trees, all of them are going in that category. And they got different parts. Like they got root system, which is their underground system by which nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium and water can be absorbed. They got shoot system, which is their second part. Stem and leaves are going in that category, or parts of shoot system, and with the help of the shoot system, stem is carrying the water and nutrients to upward, and leaves are doing the photosynthesis process. So basically we said non-vascular plants were plants which we can find them inside water. Mosses, liverwort and hornworts are going in that category, and vascular plants which contain xylem and phloem were in two types, like non-seed and seed plants. Now we are going to discuss about these two. So first of all, non-seed vascular plants, they are not growing seed. For example, ferns are going in that category. Did you know actually that mosses, liverwort and hornwort are also going in category or in parts of non-seed plants? But as we are talking about non-seed vascular plants, it means we are adding vascular word in here. That's why only ferns are going in that category, because they are like ferns. They got xylem and phloem, and they are house plants. The second category is seed vascular plants, or that kind of vascular plants which can grow seed. They are in two categories, like GYMNOSPERM and ANGIOSPERM, or plants which cannot grow flower, or plants which can grow flower. These are actually containing seed. Both of them contain seed. Their seed structure is like this. They contain a seed coat, which is the cover of their seed, and also they got an embryo, this place by which new plants can grow. They are growing new plants with this structure, and food store, this part. It means till that embryo grows, it can use from that food store. So as we said that plants, seed plants are in two types, like GYMNOSPERM and ANGIOSPERM. And GYMNOSPERM were that kind of plants which cannot grow flowers. So cycads, ginkgos, yews and conifers are going in that category. About conifer, it's a tree but with needle like leaves, and they're growing cone like structures. These cones can be male or female. Suppose one is male and the other is female. They got male and female gametes, and the male gamete can travel with the wind to female one, and they can reproduce as this. The second category is angiosperm, which is flowering plants. They are producing flower. As we know that inside flower there are male and female reproductive structures, anterfilaments, stigma, style, ovary, which were their specifically structures, the pistil and stamen structures. They can produce that sort of structures, and they are in two categories. Like we can divide them as dicots and monocots. We can differentiate dicote and monocote actually. Like if we see that features, I mean if we compare the seed, root, vascular tissue, leaf and flowers of different plants, we can differentiate, we can understand whether they are monocote or dicote. If we notice their seed, if there are only one cotyledon, it's monocote. If there are two cotyledons, it's dicote. About their root, if they got fibrous root, like branched root, they are monocote. But if they are taproot, they are dicote. About their vascular tissue, if it's scattered like in every part of stem, we can find it, it's monocote. But if their vascular tissue, xylem and phloem, is a ringed shape, it means just on corners of the stem, it's dicote. About their leaf, if they venation of their leaves are like parallel vein, they are monocote. But if they have netted like vein, it means veins are in both sides of the middle line, they are dicote. About their flower or about their bloom structure, we can say if they, I mean their bloom contains 3 petals, 3 colorful leaves for example, so they are monocote. But if their bloom or flower contains 4 up to 5 petals, so they are like dicotes. So let's have a revision again. We say that plant kingdom can be divided in 2 ways, like non-vascular and vascular plants. Non-vascular are mosses, liverwort and hornwort, and the vascular plant can further divide it in 2 parts, which is seedless, which is fern, horsetail and club mosses, and seed plants that we can divide them in 2 parts, which is gymnosperm and angiosperm. So gymnosperm, we say they are that kind of plants which cannot grow flower, like conifers, yaws, cycads and ginkgos. And about angiosperm, we can say they are also can be divided as monocote and dicote. So like corns and different grasses and different kind of things are going in that category, and dicotes are like different sort of fruits. So that was all about plant classification. Thanks for being with me till the end of the lesson.